All right, let's hope that worked. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. I did the old school hard reboot when nothing was responding. Everything decided to freeze. It looks like I need to get a Wi-Fi booster in my office. Looks like I cut out a little bit due to poor. Can see it. On a mesh router. Actually, Maestro, rooms away. I need a booster. This will work for. It was on my end. All right, yeah. So that's an internet issue. The house. This is gonna sound so pretentious. Our house is so big. It's a 180-year-old house. Even with the permeate the walls the way it should, like a normal. What's up, Wahoo? Good man. How about Panda? Passes through pretty easily. Doesn't work so in these older houses. So I have to put a booster basically in every single room almost. I'm dropping frames. I'm probably gonna unfortunately have so forgive me. I am probably gonna speed it up a little bit and maybe not take as many questions at the end. So I apologize to everybody. I should have the hopefully get everything done by tomorrow. Getting ready to head to Wisconsin. Get that squeaky cheese, man. Squeaky cheese. Scared you? Oh, buddy. I'm sorry if I scared you. But if you think you were scared, you should have seen my face when they told me on Monday. All right, so let me continue from part one. Um, I guess it's going to be a two-part video now. Um, so the card shop opened up right around the corner from the house, and most of what happened. So good to be seen online, Wahoo. I have two previous videos. They're only on YouTube for switched around everything, and it just won't do it. So I think YouTube is going to be the place that the card shop's name was the Dugout. That was the name of the card shop, the Dugout. So we would go to the Dugout. Is some singles and I don't know what that is. What is VOD? What is VODs? Um, oh, by Wake, professional ball hockey team here in Buffalo. Queen City Quake. They have a really good name, the franchise. Had their first game this weekend. Had a little bit of rust, but they're going to work on knocking it off. So, uh, Queen City Quake, just their games. The Ghost Rider cards. I like to collect the comic book cards. I was into while everybody was grabbing like the new Upper Deck stuff. I was getting in. And it was it was awesome. Like, that was our spot. That's where we would go. That's where we would hang out. That's where all of our um, my best friend Mike buy packs, but he wasn't really a collector. He just thought they were cool. So we would go there and we would spend all of our extra change. We would get jobs raking leaves, shoveling driveways, all to make money to go to the dugout and spend every penny we had buying cards. Um, I being interested in football and being interested in things that were different. There was this set that came out called Act Figurative because they had the raised surfaces so that you can actually feel what the thanks Bolt, love you, man. So you could feel the action on the card on them, and those were kind of the cool short print ones because they didn't make a ton of the Braille ones, but they were there. Like 92 was a tremendous amount for a pack of cards. So I bought, I think, a pack, and um, this card looks a little bit different, really, really closely. And then I found, and my father's like, nope, it's a card, can't be real gold. Come to find out, they actually did use 24 karat gold leaf to imprint these cards, so that was available, randomly inserted in things. And I happened to score one. So I went to check out this card I found. Frames are drop, and I'm going to post the video. So just a heads up, if it does cut out, I'll probably just tell the story and leave it as a video. And I showed him, I said, hey, look at this card. It's different than everyone else's. And there was like, yeah, we definitely. The guy looks at me and he looks at the card and he flips it over and he like kind of nods at the card. He's like, yeah, I'll give you, and I was 11. I wasn't even 12 yet. 92, my birthday's in July. So most younger for most of the year. $10 or 15 in trade. I was like, nah, you know what? It says 24 karat gold. I think I'm going to keep it. And he's like, well, I could do fifth door with the other guy. Pulled out his wallet and said, and pulled out a $20 bill and said, I will give you $20 right now for that card. And I was like, whoa, $20. I mean, I could buy a couple. That's good. The other guy was like, yeah, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 11. He's like, I'm going to need you to bring your father in to trade. We can't do that. And the dude who was going to offer me $20, like, well, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? Let him take the money. And the other guy was like, no, you know what? Go get one of your parents. Come down here, and then we can trade the card. We'll buy the card from you. So I was excited. I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get my dad. We're gonna get some money. We're gonna buy a couple boxes of cards, and this is gonna be great. So I run home. I wait for my dad to get home. My dad was a mailman. And he finished his route. He came home, and I was like, Dad, they want to give me $20 for this card. And my dad goes, well, how much was a pack of cards? Like, pack of cards was, I think it was like $2.50 or $3. He's like, they don't want to give you $20 for that card. I'm like, Dad, they're going to give me $20 for this card. I want to sell this card. So got home early, and he took the card, and he went down there. He was gone for probably close to an hour. Now, a 2-minute had the card in one of those old school, you definitely don't want to put them in any screw down plastics. And the really expensive ones, the nice ones that were like $5 a case, had the indent in them so the card would sit nicely inside there and be centered. So he comes back and he says, David, don't you ever let them touch your card again. And I was like, how am I getting in trouble for somebody wanting to buy my card? I was like, this is everything. And then my father said, do you know how much that card is worth? There we go. Mike's back on. So my dad asks me, do you know how much that card is worth? I was like, yeah, Dad, it's worth $50. He's $50 for the card. How much is this card worth that you're off your case out of a shop? Like you're buying a ton for $100. Because, you know, it was the height of the wax pack garbage era. So my dad said I wanted to buy the old Beckett's that was. I just wanted to see, and then we would just kind of thumb through the pages, looking at the prices of the old, you know, Bronco Nagurskis from the 50s. Fun fact: I got to meet James Beckett, fantastic human being, very humble man. Shout out to James Beckett. You are the guy begrudgingly. Obviously, we will give you 50 cash or 100 trade. I'm probably just going to put it in the case for 150 just to get rid of it. You know, we're just going to make, you know, like 50 to 100 bucks. The story, because I wasn't there. So this is now it's this part is my father's story. My father said, the kid said, I did. And my father said, rip off, you are not going to. Went to, there was another card shop out in, well, I don't remember where it was. It was not in West. There was another one somewhere, and that's where he bought the actual case for it. And that's what took so long is he spent only 20 minutes at the dugout. He spent another 40 minutes going somewhere else to buy the screw down case. So he said, you're not allowed to go there anymore. That's now called the ripoff shop. And those guys were trying to take advantage of you because you were 11, and $20 is a lot to an 11-year-old. So he got on the phone and he called everybody's parents, all my friends' parents, and talked to them and you know, told them the story of what happened and said, David's not going there anymore. As most of you guys know, my real first name is David. He's like, David's not going anymore. This is what they did to him. Can you believe it? I have proof, and blah blah blah. And then my buddy Mike, his dad, started reaching out to the kids on our baseball team, the kids on his Mike, my best friend's hockey team, and telling them, hey, this is what happened in the dugout. They tried to rip off, you know, rip off David, and we're not going there anymore. So that was it. We weren't allowed to go to the dugout anymore. I tried to sneak there once after school, and when I stuck my head in the door, they threw me out. I wasn't even allowed in there because my dad threatened to break the guy's face. So I wasn't even allowed in there. I was banned there because they tried to swindle me, and my dad caught them. And everybody's parents were like, we're not letting our kids go there. And about 3 months later, place was gone. They went out of business. They had to move because all the neighborhood kids on a 4-street radius, and my father was the commissioner of the baseball team. He was the coach of baseball teams. My friend Mike's dad was an assistant coach. Between my parents and my dad's and my friend's dads, we knew all the kids. And without the kids, there was no hobby shop for them. So they tried to rip people off. They got shut down because nobody would. They went out of business. It is absolutely, absolutely. So it was at that moment that I realized the power of collecting and the understanding. And I told myself, um, I will never, ever, ever get rid of this card, even though there were cards that came before it. This is what I consider my first card I have ever collected. Um, if the house was on fire and I had a choice of my entire collection or this one card, um, this card would be saved before the rest of my collection. Hands down, doesn't matter. Cards only worth $20 now, by the way. but this card will never leave my collection. As a matter of fact, if for some reason I ever die, which it's not likely, but if I do die, this will be buried with me. I don't even know if I'll give it to James. I think this might come with me. I think he'll get the rest of my collection. He'll get all the Jim Kelly autographs. But this one I think is coming with me when I go. When I'm cremated, this hunk of plastic will be fused to my bones. Oh, hi Mel. Sorry, James. But sorry, buddy, you're not getting that one. You can have all the other ones. So that's it. This is the most important card of my collection, the 1992 um, Emmett Smith action-packed 24 karat gold card number 9G. It is the first, even though it's not the first card I ever owned, it's the first one that made me a collector. That is the most important card ever. Period. Um, that also made me a connoisseur of cards in a way, even at 12 years old. I now knew that I wanted things that were different. I wanted the inserts. I wanted to find the things that were, gee, I really wish I had some more water. I mistakenly did not have enough bring enough water for the amount of talking I'm going to be doing. Um, I only wish I worked from home and it would be easier for me to do. Pump the brakes on not giving the 29 grand. So, I started to really get into, I'll give you, I'll give you water for that card. It's good. It's no, I'll go thirsty before I let that happen. Um, So at a young age, I started collecting inserts. I didn't want the base card. I wanted the rookies. I wanted the, gold inserts. I wanted the cards that were different. That kind of made me look at cards differently. While I did have, I would still buy packs. I would trade for a lot of the inserts that people would have. I bought a lot of action packed, and I've received more 24 karat gold action pack cards over the years. Just in if I see them, because now they're not worth anything. Back then they were a couple $100 each. Yeah, how thirsty am I? Not that thirsty. Um, so there are a couple more in my collection, but that's the one. That's the card. This is my crown jewel. It's not worth anything to anybody else but me. I mean, even in mint condition, it's not in mint condition. Um, Even if it was, it's still only worth $50 nowadays. I actually have considered getting it graded. It's gonna grade like a 6 or a 7. It's in bad shape, but I kind of want to encapsulate it and have it be encapsulated. T4 has found me. There he is. What's up, T4? Glad you are here to join us, man. I'm glad you guys are finding me. Um, so yeah, hey, what's up, bro? So that's it. This is my numero uno. As a Bills fan, a Sabres fan, Astros fan, it's funny that it's Emmett Smith, a man who's almost single-handedly destroyed the Bills in 2 Super Bowls. But that's the card. That is my rosebud. That is my robot. What's up, Dave? What is going on? What is this? Hold on. What is oh my goodness. Oh wow. Wow, thank you, Jeeves. I appreciate you. Yeah, slap me some skin. Love it. Thank you, honey. On a gold platter, you like that? Yeah. So that's the reason we're married. Is she has the same humor that I do. Uh, by the way, Slancha. Oh, that's the stuff. I know, yeah, she has a great sense of humor, doesn't she? She has a great sense of humor. And there, listen, and I will tips. um, I will say this, and this is not related, but there is truly somebody for everybody out there. I'm a bit odd, and God bless Mel. Her odd matches my odd. We are a complement of each other. And it took me 35 years to find her. So what's going on, Doug? How are you doing, man? Um, and I'm glad I did. So sometimes it takes longer than you think, but eventually you're gonna find the right person for you. And it happens when you're not even looking, because I wasn't even looking when I found my wife. So, um, oh, Doug, I was just sharing. This is the number one card in my entire collection. This is the card that started everything. I was just telling the story. Now, so going with the an autographed Chris Jericho. Wonder where you got, man. Yeah, Doug, that's it. That's the primo card. That's the first card that started my collection. And I'll never get rid of it. Um, so that sent me on a path of new and interesting things and cards. And I would steady collect cards. We would go to different places. Back in the day, you could get cards at your local grocery store. And you could go pretty much to card shows and sports places, and you could buy cards. So we would. Um, I went into the Navy in '99, and I had boxes of cards, all from my mid '80s to the late '90s stuff that I was collecting. Um, and I got a message from my parents that all my cards had to be thrown out in early 2000. It was like 2000 or 2001. There was a flood in the basement, and it's and everything's gone. They had to throw them out. The wood boxes were waterlogged. The cards were soaked, and I lost all of my collection. Um, thankfully, yeah, there you go, Dave. Thankfully, because this was always my primo card, um, it wasn't with the other ones. This was actually with my personal belongings upstairs in my old room. This didn't suffer the fate of the entire other collection uh, because it was always my favorite card, and it was the first one, and I had always known that it was special to me. I didn't put it with my regular cards. It would sit on my dresser, or it was in my sock drawer. Everybody go to your sock drawer now, and I'm sure you can pull something that's not a pair of socks or underwear out that is something to do with your history that you are saving and keeping safe in your sock drawer, because that's where all things stay safe. So that's where that was. Fast forward to 2011, I started collecting again hardcore. Started getting into actually 2005 through 2011. I started doing random stuff, just buying boxes and packs here and there. Still was only $100 for a box, so it was no big deal. 2011, I got introduced to box breaks. I got into box breaks through, I can't remember the kid's name. Um, there we go. Um, no, it's Doug. I have a hardware issue. For some reason, the mic only lasts for X amount of time and then it cuts out. Um, so the box break started 2011 for me. In 2011, I can't remember the name of this kid, but he was doing PYTs, first come first serve, and I happened to jump onto his site the moment he put up a new football break, and I grabbed the Panthers because Cam Newton, and he was doing plates and patches. And sure enough, I on a $60 buy-in, I hit, because it was the most expensive team. I hit a Cam Newton out of 199 RPA, And I was like, wow, box breaking is the coolest thing in the world. I just got a $350 card for 60 bucks. And then I started getting into box breaks. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give a shout out, actually. I'm going to give a shout out to a breaker. Um, one of my ready, steady breakers um, that really got me into box breaking, and actually somebody that I emulate a lot. If you like me, you'll like this guy. Although he doesn't break a ton anymore. He used to be big into it. The place was called Ultimate Box Breaks. Brian is the name of the guy who used to run it. That guy was great. He has a proprietary, patented way of doing box breaks. It's literally, he's got a patent for it. That allows you to trade teams, that does the randoming automatically for you, and basically on the site you can trade teams without, and once the trade is done, there's no trade backs. It's, it makes everything excuse me, good to go. So I used to spend a fortune before I got, married. And when I had more disposable income before I had a child, I used to spend a couple $100 a week with Brian doing box breaks because his stuff was primo and it was great. And my collection grew exponentially due to Ultimate Box Breaks. And that's what kind of got me into the idea of being a breaker and led me to my last position. Along the way, I gained a love for collecting, and this is something Doug knows way more than I do about. So hopefully, um, he can recognize. So I wanted to get cards that were old, like odd things, different things, oddballs, strange cards. Um, 1887. This is the called the N28 series. 1887 Allen and Ginter. This card right here is the first um, vintage card. And when I say vintage, I mean this is old. It's, 100 and almost 140. This was a piece of the Hull collection. That's correct, Doug. The Hull collection, Mr. Hull had the largest collection of pugilist trading cards in the world. Boxers, bare knuckle fighters, some wrestlers even. And when he retired or died, I don't remember which one of the two, but I guess one kind of leads to the other. He sold his collection, and I happened to win this one in an auction. It wasn't very much. I think it was like 80 bucks or something like that. And I just wanted to own something from the 1800s. I knew about tobacco cards. I knew about the Honus Wagner. Now, I've never seen a real Honus Wagner in my life. I will probably never see one that isn't under bulletproof glass. But that my dad would always talk about the Honus Wagner card, and saying that is the most expensive one in the world. Oh, see, there you go. Doug will tell you. Um, and um, the Honus Wagner was a tobacco card back in the day. Your packs of tobacco. Um, you had a lot of the Hull stuff. Dig it. No, I got it, man. Um, you'd buy tobacco, either pipe tobacco or chewing tobacco, in either a tin or a soft pack. And inside there, once you would open it up, tucked inside was a card. Now, it wasn't just baseball back then, because baseball really wasn't super popular back in the late 1800s as far as a card collecting type thing. As a matter of fact, it was pretty unheard of for being on the card. So it was people that were boxers, pugilists. It was oarsmen, literally people who row, like we're talking boats. Yeah, I'm serious. There were baseball players, don't get me wrong. Billiards players, pool players, wrestlers, and shooters. Exactly, most were none. Um, the list, and you probably won't be able to see it on my camera, but maybe. It even includes, this set has Buffalo Bill Cody and Annie Oakley. And that's because Annie Oakley was actually alive when this set came out. So that is literally the Annie Oakley card, the frontierswoman and sharpshooter extraordinaire. Um, that is her real card. Like, not like, you have the old school, cards like, oh, this is an homage to, this is, a 1991 card of Ty Cobb. Annie Oakley was alive when that set was out, so you were collecting her card while she was alive. Um, and then the second one, I was able to, I started finding them, and I started looking under Tobackiana on eBay, um, and was able to grab one. And about, I don't know, 6, 8 months ago, I got really lucky. And somebody knew what they had, but apparently nobody. It was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I feel kind of bad because I know people were starting to sell stuff because they were out of jobs and didn't have any money. I had a job. Melissa got to keep her job, so we had more income, and I did make a couple of purchases, kind of taking advantage of that situation. Now, I'm not saying I took advantage of anybody because I will tell you, I did put a standing bid of $200 on this card. Unfortunately, it never got past. I think I got 45. Yeah, they did have a bird set. They had a Native American set. They had a bunch of other things. Um, this is an SGC 70. And to get a 70 from 1887 is pretty darn good. I'm not saying it's like there's higher, but the fact that I was able to get a William Muldoon um, that was graded as 70, I thought was pretty fantastic. He was a wrestler. He was a wrestler back in the day. That is my highest graded card from the 1800s. And now I'm hooked. I want to collect the set. I have a couple more that are not graded yet. But I got into that, and the N28 now is my, when and if I ever get disposable income again, I will probably approach that as the set I want to collect. Before I even do anything modern, I want to complete my N28. The problem is there are baseball in the N28 series, and specifically Cap Anson, Hall of Fame ball player and notorious racist. His cards are astronomical because his were some of the first ever baseball cards that there are. And Cap was one of the first Hall of Famers that was put on a card of any type. So the Cap Ansons are quite expensive. Um, you'll have to go to Wikipedia page to find out more about the race issue. I'm not going to bring it up, but the despicable human. Um, yeah, yep, Doug. The N43s are when they increase in size, and ultimately those odd things, those things that are off the beaten path led me to something that I've gotten a couple of you into. Some of you are going to know what this is. A lot of you are going to hear about this for the first time. I'm not I'm not paid to plug this person. I'm not I don't get any benefit from doing this. This is because I think this person is amazing. I started getting into art cards or card art, and I'm not talking about sketch cards. I'm talking about somebody taking a physical card, deconstructing it, and building it again and making it something different. I want to talk about one guy in particular, and he has a lot of disciples that are out there, and a lot of people that do a pretty good job. But this was the guy that really started me into these. Um, it's a guy by the name of Card Killer. Card Killer is an artist. He is an artist with clothing. He is an artist with cards. He is just a pure artist. Um, Fantastic stuff that he puts out. Um, During the pandemic, he started actually having Donnie B from Donnie Boy Collectibles, Donnie B Collections. He got together with Donnie, and those two started selling some of his items, some of his pieces. And that actually triggered Donnie into getting into it. And Donnie's producing some really fantastic stuff too. So shout out to Donnie and Card Killer. This was one of the earlier pieces that was ever put out for sale. It is a National Treasures Dame Lillard. And this card is called the Konami Code. As you may recognize, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. And all of the cards, because they are original pieces of art, are 101s. As you can see in the lower left-hand corner of the card. I don't know, it might be red on your side. And then he obviously in gold put his name Card Killer on it. So this one, I'm not a basketball fan, but I was a fan of Contra. But yeah. Now I follow both of them on my Instagram. You can find Card Killer and Donnie B. I know some of you that are in the chat have bought some Donnie B stuff. You've shown me in the DMs. I might actually link Card Killer and Donnie B on here to take a peek. Let them know that I'm kind of giving them a shout out the 45-minute range because they deserve it. They're good stuff. And now I've been really into that form of art. I'm not only collecting cards, but I'm always keeping my eye out for card art. People that are doing something new with something that has been around for literally 150 years. And while not everybody, it won't be everybody's cup of tea, destroying a card to create something new. But for some people, they are the next evolution in collecting cards because now you have something that Panini created that somebody else perfected. But they have stuff up all the time, and there's a lot of things that they have that I salivate over. And I was able to get that card at a very, 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 very reasonable price. Now his stuff sells for, he's got stuff that sold for a couple thousand. So he's getting out there. I believe that's him, Hellbolt. I'd have to look. I don't want to leave here because of how testy this stream has been. But that's probably him. He's one of my friends on there. So appreciate it, Bolt. But yeah, that's Card Killer and Johnny B, or excuse me, Donnie B is on there as well. Again, I'm not affiliated with those guys. I am shouting them out 100%. Take care, Doug. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for stopping by. It's just something that I think is new and interesting, and that's once I get to where I need to be fiscally, I will be getting into more of those too. Yes, absolutely, we will, Doug. I think that's going to be like kind of the next evolution for me as somebody who collects original artwork as well. That we have hanging in the house. The original artwork in the form of cards is going to be kind of my next thing. So I want to get into the N28s. I want to complete that set. I want to do get some more of these card art pieces and I want to continue to collect the players that matter to me and the players that matter to my family, like Jim Kelly. So, I have 13 errors on this feed right now. No, I am not. I know T4. I no longer work for that company. I resigned about 2 weeks ago, and they decided to reject my resignation and let me go. They released me from my notice on Monday. Um, I'm not breaking at the moment. Right now, I'm not breaking. However, I would stay tuned to both of my channels. Oh, T4. There is a. I went into it a little. Oh, there's an NDA. Oh, there's absolutely an NDA. But what I said doesn't violate my NDA. What up, Top Shelf? Um, if you're released by a company, you're allowed to say you were released by a company because I resigned and they only accepted part of my notice. How you leave a company does not violate an NDA. I looked that up already. My family's attorney said you're allowed to say how you left. You just can't talk about the circumstances of leaving. So I can't talk about why. I can just tell you I resigned, and they chose not to give the full notice. Happens. Listen, happens in everyday companies all everywhere. Um, so yeah, future. I can't I can't go into details, but let's just say there is absolutely no problem legally, and I have this for certain. There is no legal repercussion if I start breaking again soon. So I would stay tuned to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel um, for an announcement coming fairly soon, within reason, about maybe something to do with that. Um, that's all I'm going to say about it. Until then, I just want to keep I want to keep the family together. I want to keep all of us together. This is one of the greatest communities I think you are going to find in all of collecting. Um, we are family friendly. We are all know each other now. We have some really great personality here. I don't want anything to change. So, all right. When you come for the jersey, well, hey man, listen. If you got to get him to trade Eichel. You trade Eichel, I'll sign that jersey and I'll get it to you. But I was less concerned about breaking as I was concerned about getting everybody together. I didn't want anybody to think that I left them because I do love all of you guys. And I don't say it every night because, I want people to think that I do. I want you to know that I do. This community is extremely important to me, and it's extremely important to each other because I know a lot of you became friends with each other through this chat, and I know a lot of you have multiplied your collection and traded amongst each other and have purchased things off of each other. I know this for a fact because I've seen the DMs. I know you guys are all speaking outside of this chat, and this chat has really brought a community together that had no idea of each other until then. I mean, I've got people in Australia hanging out with us. It is the middle of the day, and they are tuning in to sunny Buffalo as I stream. See, there you go, Brent. But yeah, I mean, hey, listen, guys, I watch my brother. I love my son's videos, and they're always like, hit like and subscribe. I never want to be the guy that's like, hit like and subscribe. But listen, you really are doing me a favor by hitting like and subscribe, because it will get more people out there. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. There you go. Ringo69. Dig it. Shout out to Ringo. What's going on? How are you doing? Um, yeah, man, I'm telling you, I love my Aussies. I'm gonna get down there. I am. I'm gonna get down there. I've said it before, even before I knew some of the people here were Aussie. I've always said that's my brother got to go there. He loved it when he was in the Navy, and he speaks so highly of how great of a time it was. So I've considered it so much that I actually taught myself to say Melbourne correctly. That is how serious I am. Do you know any Yankees or whatever you call us that say Melbourne correctly? No. I'm the only one. So, good. Yeah. I was digging through my collection to find these, specifically to find this one. No, unfortunately, I don't think Roy knows yet. As you can imagine, the last place I worked for, it's like it's like he who shall not be named. The last place I worked for, they're very tight-lipped. They're very tight-lipped about what happened. Just like I don't really go into detail on what happened. All I can say is, I have been told by my family attorney I'm allowed to say I put in notice, I worked part of that notice and was released from that notice, and now I'm doing something different. That is, I'm cleared to say that, and that's all I am going to say. I don't need to get into anything else. Um, I just, I'm already moved on. I've got you guys, and you guys are finding the rest of the people that were there. We're all gonna be together soon. And every single time I go live, new people find me. Every single day this week, I've had new follows on YouTube and Twitch. And thank you. Um, so I want the community to be here. I want to be I want to the community. Once the community is all together, like I said, I will have an announcement soon. Um, you guys are it's gonna knock your socks off. You're gonna be pretty impressed with what's gonna be happening. I have some things. I have multiple media type things that are going to be going on. A lot of people, once they found out I was a free agent, have swarmed me, and in a good way. Um, I have told, like, people were like, literally the next day, like, you weren't live last night. Somebody said that you are no longer with the company. Is that true? Can I give you money? Like, can I pay you 20 grand to start breaking? Um, I literally have had people be like, how much money is it going to take? Whatever it is, DC, you just tell me. I'm gonna get you breaking again. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate it, but I'm good at the moment. Let's take a pause from that, and let's just worry about getting everybody together. Once I have my crew, and every one of you, you're my crew. Um, Once I have the crew together, once the family is together, you guys are going to be the ones that see the next step first. You guys are going to be, trust me, when I say it is so big that it's almost an embarrassment of riches that'll be happening. But it is definitely going to be happening. I just have to bide my time a little bit. Un poquito, por favor. But once the announcement comes out, you guys are going to be crazy. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And Ninja, that is exactly it. Um the conversation, I told everybody, the breaking was only 20% of what I was doing. 80% of the time was conversation. I mean, sometimes I'd be breaking stuff, we're just kind of blowing through the break because the conversation was so good. It's like, oh wait, hold on, there's an autograph. I have to announce it. Um the conversation is the important part. And one of the things that I had talked to about with some of the people that had approached me for employment and partnership, I told them, um, a couple of them, I was like, this is how I do things. I said it's about the stream first. It's about the people first. Um, well, thanks, Wolf. I appreciate that, man. And here's what I can tell you. Um, a lot of people have said they paid more money for a product to have me break it than they could have paid on another site. Uh, to the tune of, $50, $60 more a box just because they didn't want the bland person to do their break. They wanted me to do it. and that the prices were higher than other places, but they just wanted me to break it. And that's thank you. I mean, I try to be entertaining. I come from a theater and improv and comedy background and acting background. So I want to entertain. The cards were just a medium for my entertainment. Now, I mean, yeah, see, the Comic Con says it right there. Absolutely bought things that he never would have otherwise. Um, and it became that. So when people have approached me and said, how much money do we have to give you, like, I literally, and I'm not going to share the text messages because I thought about posting them just to be like, ha, look what's happening, but that's petty, and I don't want to be petty. I want to take the high road in this divorce. I want to take the high road. um but somebody literally said, I'm going to call you right now, pick up the phone. So they called me, and they're like, what's up, Tech? They're literally like, what is your bank account? I'm wiring you 15 grand. Let's get started tomorrow. And I was like, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. And other people were like, listen, I want to do it again. Um, and they, I said, one of the stipulations, if I do decide to go with somebody, if I do want to, um, continue with breaking, I said it's going to be not a turn and burn type thing. I want to talk about the cards. I want to have exciting and new things to open. I want to do mixers, because mixers are what I brought to my last establishment, as something that I wanted my thing to be, is more variety. And somebody reached out to me, and without me having to say, I want it to be more about the cards. I want it to be more about the collectors. I want to be about the chat and the people. They said, I love what you did with the community. I love the community that you started. I love the people that you brought together. Um, and I want you to do nothing different other than have us work together to put out a great product. So that those people, those people that contacted me, are the ones that I'm talking to now. And again, I don't want to talk too much more about it. Um, but there's stuff coming. There's stuff coming. It's already in the works. I've already made some verbal commitments. But soon, the next step is going to be amazing. And all of you need to stick together and stick with me and hang out, because the more I'm allowed to tell you, the more I'll be telling in these videos. Speaking of videos, I want to talk about tomorrow, and then I'm going to sign off. God, that water is stupid good. Okay. Um, yeah, Dave, I didn't pull punches. And believe me, they talked to me about the fact that I wasn't, because they're in partnerships with those companies. Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that. So, and I mentioned this and trust me, if you want to really know all I can legally talk about the me leaving, it's in the video Elephant in the Room on YouTube. Go to my YouTube page, watch the video Elephant in the Room. I tell you what I'm allowed to legally tell you. What my family attorney has cleared, I talk about in the video, and I can't really comment much more. Um, I got to move on to it. I didn't get to say goodbye, and it broke my heart. I was Melissa, my wife Mel. Mel will tell you, I was not crushed that I wasn't working there anymore, because I planned on leaving. I put in my notice. I quit. I was dumbstruck and heartbroken that I wasn't going to be able to say goodbye. And I know why they did it, and I get it. it's smart business on their part from a protecting standpoint, but just think of the week of breaks that we could have had if you knew they were going away breaks. Could you imagine if we had, hey, this is one last week of DC breaking? Could you imagine how insane those breaks would have been? We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars could have been made that week, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Oh, I can't. Belinda. I can't agree or disagree with that legally. Yeah, yep. I'm aware, and I feel bad for him, and I said it in the other video as well. I feel terrible for Jersey John. He should not have to pick up the slack. He's put in a bad spot. He is. He was put in a bad spot. So, um, but you won't have to worry because I will have an announcement coming up in the next few weeks. So it's gonna be big. I'm telling you, it's gonna be huge. You guys are gonna go bonkers. I'm telling you, you're gonna be excited. You're gonna be excited. You are. That's all I'm gonna speak on it. But yeah, I didn't want it to end the way it did. It ended that way. Um, and I didn't get to say goodbye. And that's when I am playing a bit of the bitter X. I Comic-Con, that would be fun. They would hate me. I'd be like, this is trash. And they'd be like, you're fired. I'm sorry. um, I knew as soon as it ended the way it did, I knew I had to do this. I knew I had to get immediately in front of the camera. I had to. Um, Dave, you're not far off. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh goodness. Um, I knew I had to get in front of the camera because I know that there was a contingency of people that didn't think I would immediately garner any attention. Um, Now, I'm not talking about any specific place that I've ever worked before, so understand that I'm not talking about any specific place. But I do know that there are places, and it's places that I have worked in the past. And unfortunately, there is a general assumption that everybody's replaceable and it's next man up. And if you found you once, I can find someone like you again. Um, and I don't think I don't think that's true. What's up? What up, Benj? Hey, buddy. Um, and a lot of people also didn't think, and I know there's even family members of mine that were like, "You're really gonna do your own show?" And yeah, of course I am. There's people I want to talk to. I don't do this for me. I do this for us. I want to keep all of us together. I know a lot of you have boycotted the last place. Um, there's members of my family that still kind of jump onto the other channel to see what they're doing, just to see what they're doing. And I can tell by the viewership that a lot of you people have left. I have jumped in every once in a while to see what was going on, and I know a lot of you aren't there. Listen, I'm not telling you not to go. Don't. I am not your father. I'm not your mother. I'm not even your creepy uncle that paid for your college. I'm not going to tell you not to go somewhere because, quite frankly, that place is the only place there is for some things. I'm not going to tell you to boycott anything that's stupid. I'm not a child. I'm 41. I'm not 14 years old. You're all adults. You make your decisions. I don't care what you guys do. I love you regardless. And you have to scratch the itch. You have to scratch the itch. But I do know that there are times where it's pretty barren. And I do know that I've not seen a lot of your names there. And I mean, for whatever reason, I like to think that it was because I gave you the entertainment. You were there for the entertainment and not the cards. But soon I want to be giving you both again. Uh, so, well, yeah, I can't. I'm on the entertainment kick now. I am going to tell stories. I am going to hang out with you. I am going to share with you, the pieces of my collection and where I'm going with my collection. I'm going to bring tomorrow. This is a great segue. Tomorrow, I'm going to read a letter. It's going to be it's, I plan on it being a fairly short video. It may end up being a part of a longer conversation, but I'm coming into tomorrow expecting a fairly short video. It's going to be same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, I have a letter from a Union soldier that was written during the Civil War. It was a letter from home, from the field. I got it. Um, I understand completely, Dave. I got it through the Civil War divided boxes, which I don't think exist anymore. And I was very fortunate to get a really beautiful 4-page letter, which was amazing. Well, thank you, Belinda. Yeah, and I'm aware the cost of not only shipping but the taxes you guys got to pay, the duty. He said duty. The duty you guys got to pay. I know it's outrageous, and I know that's why Sean, who was a regular from over there, Sean would have to do like $10,000, $12,000 buys just to make it worth the shipping. Um, but yeah, crazy. I tried, yeah, and thanks, Ringa. I appreciate it. I tried to make it entertaining. I wanted to bring to the table something nobody else was doing, and that was having a personality. Because I was an hourly employee, I didn't care how much I got done. I just cared about the quality of what I did because it's my time. I mean, when you pay somebody hourly, it's up to them how they spend the time. So I wanted it to be quality time. I didn't want to be turning and burning for no reason. I mean, as much money as I made them, I could have probably made them 3 times as much if I just turned and burned. But that's not me. And that's what was very important in my next phase of what I plan on doing is that the person that I partner with and that or hires me or however you want to talk about our union, to whatever capacity it is, they have to understand that I do it a certain way. And the people that reached out to me said, we want you to do exactly what you were doing before, in the same way you were doing it. Don't change a thing. DC, you're perfect. So I was like, cool. Then I think we have an understanding. But tomorrow, I'm going to read the letter. The letter is striking. Um, the people of today are not that different than the people of 1860. They have some of the same anxieties, they have some of the same worries, and they have some of the same mannerisms. The only difference is they're in a tougher time. And I want to read this letter because the letter is a glimpse into what happened, 160 years ago. So, for the most part, I just kind of want to read the letter. I might show what else was in the box that I got, just to kind of have everybody in there. But the letter is it's an old piece of parchment. It's an 1860 whatever letter, handwritten, and the kid had beautiful penmanship. I say kid because he was a kid. The kid had beautiful penmanship, um, and you can actually read the letter. So I plan on that's what I plan on doing. I plan on reading the letter and kind of just sharing that because not a lot of people get to actually read a real Civil War letter, American Civil War letter. Excuse me, I forget I'm multinational now. And the American Civil War was definitely our history. So tune in for that tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be same channels that you're on right now. I think it'll be cool. I haven't seen any videos of anybody doing it before, and I tend to have a pretty decent voice when it comes to reading things. It's something that people like to hear. So, if that goes well, I found an avenue to purchase more letters. I may do that and just do some readings, as an occasional extra content type thing. Um, but that's it. That's actually a wrap. I'm gonna head out. And thank you, Belinda, and thank you, Ringa. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's not the most opportune time for y'all. I think it's midday um, down there. So thank you, and I specifically thank you to you guys. And Audible for 1800s letters. There you go. So I'll say it again. I'll say it all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every one of you. I do. I really do. And anybody who knows me knows I'm telling you the truth. Um, there is no me. There is no DC without you. And I need you to know that that is I have nothing to sell you anymore. I have nothing to give you anymore, other than our conversation and us hanging out. Oh, please, Ringa, anytime that you can, you are always welcome in my house, buddy. Feel free to tune in whenever. And I'm going to get you a follow back as well as soon as I close this feed. But without you guys being here, I'm just a guy staring at a camera talking to nobody. So please heed my words. Take care of yourselves and each other, because I want to do this again tomorrow, and it's not worth doing if you're not here. It isn't. So be here, and we're all going to have a lot of fun. Um, I appreciate you. I love you all, and have a fantastic evening.